will not just talk about finding a right path. It's only one aspect of preparing for life after campus. Are we together? So widen it up to life after campus and how to prepare for it. One of them is finding a life partner, and that will be important for us to have at the back of our mind. I want to especially ask you to ask me questions, but then it will be easier to deal with it. On that count, I want to tell you, as soon as you come out of campus, how many, first of all, when are you coming out of campus? Which month? Oh, you're talking about in weeks. How many weeks? 3 weeks. Then I'm in good time. So we're talking about life after campus. There are 5 things that you need to prepare as you come out of campus. Number 1, you can't say you are settled at the campus until you find a place to stay. Unfortunately, it's not the first, but it has to be the first, because even if you are doing job hunting, you need to stay somewhere. Are we together? So, fortunately for you, unlike us in the 1970s, you don't have to necessarily to do it in Nairobi. The internet has become powerful. Jobs are always appearing in the internet. You therefore, even from Nyarugunga, if you come from Nyarugunga, you can actually still apply for a job when in Nyarugunga. Are we together? So do not feel like you have to be physically near the place. You can apply for a job in the US. Seated? Yeah. In fact, now, many of the people, after they leave campus, they are doing online jobs. Something that was not there in our time. So I suggest before you leave, find out somebody who knows something about the digital world and how you can start doing those jobs in the internet. It will not become your career, but it will give you the money to go for the interview. Am I clear? Yeah. And unfortunately, don't ask me how, because looking at my age, I have no idea how you apply for those jobs. But I talk with young people, say, oh, I'm earning 20,000 a month, I'm earning 40,000 a month, and they're earning it online without moving out of their house, simply digitally. And that is something you need to prepare about. And do not feel like my career is this, my career is the other. That's not your career. It's just a way of raising pocket money for job hunting. Are we together? So instead of going, you are now alone in a village, it's when you are looking for the work. Start looking for them when you are here, when there are some people who are good digitally who can assist you. Are we together? Because you don't have to be a computer expert. You don't have to do their job. I hear some of them is you are given an assignment, you prepare a paper, you have the team, you are paid. But you don't know, I don't even know how you are paid. Whether it's dollars or shillings or how they pay. But you need to find out that information. So that's the first thing I thought I need to make clear. That as soon as you're out campus, you need to think, where shall I go? But that place does not have to be in a town. It can be in your mother's house. But you need enough money to buy data bundles. Are we together? So that's what I'm saying, before you leave, find out how you can do those things so that you have data bundles that can keep you job hunting from wherever you are. Related with that, with it, still that pre-job time, you need to join your class WhatsApp with the intention that the class WhatsApp, whoever gets a job can say, I got a job here. And you can ask them to check whether there are also jobs in you. Again, that would not have been possible in our time. So, when I say class WhatsApp, it's not just a Christian union. It's a class WhatsApp. Am I clear? You need to join it. Don't say it's for non-Christians. Jobs are for everybody. So you need to join the group, and then people share together. Wherever they hear of a vacancy, they should post it there in the group, and everybody can try. That's important. But the other thing is, now there are websites for jobs. There are people I don't know who gave them the work, but they are working to post jobs. Unfortunately, some of them are crooks. So you need to be aware, not every job. And one of the things that is certain is that no employer ever asks for money. So anybody who tells you, then we are applying their job, 10,000 shillings, you don't have to look further. He's a crook. Why? I worked for Shell for around 30 years. We did a lot of recruitment. There's a budget for recruitment. Because recruitment is one of the HR functions. So therefore, whoever is recruiting is desperate to get a good person. So you cannot be charging them money in case a good one is unable to pay. You want a good person, you don't want a rich person. Can you see there's something funny when they ask you for money? So don't give it money. If somebody is genuine about their job, it is them who should pay you to pay for transport to come. But of course, they may not be having that kind of budget. But to ask you for money to get in advance, there is a problem that you need to deal with. So I thought I need to deal with that as you prepare. You may have covered it in FUCAFIT programs, but I hope you don't mind my repeating. Is that okay? So so you need a place to stay. Think about it in advance. Don't let it trouble you, because even in the rural area, you still, as long as you have data bundles, you are still okay. You can do job hunting there. Once you find a job, wherever you find it, now you need to move to your own house. It's very important that you have your own house. Don't go to a house which is famous. Go for what you can afford. Remember, what you are looking for is a place to sleep. Whether that bed is placed in a house of 20,000 per month or a house of 2,000 per month, the bed is the same, isn't it? So don't go to an expensive thing. My advice for new graduates is live within your means, and you will discover you can actually live within your means at every amount of money. If you're earning on to 20,000, you can actually live on it and live happily, because a lot of costs are not the same. If you want to dress this shirt, you can get this shirt at 200 shillings at Ngekomba, or you can get it at 20,000 shillings in Moi Avenue. When you wear it, it's the same one. Okay, the Ngekomba one is second hand. But the important thing is, once you buy it and you wash it and you iron it, can a person know where it came from? So why do you want to spend money you don't have just to dress? Just go to that second-hand place. It doesn't need that to be your life. One day you have more money, isn't it? So don't go there until the Lord takes you there. Use money at your life. So the same, I started with the rent. Never allow your rent to be more than 30% of your income. Are you getting me? So if you're earning 10,000 shillings a month, your rent will not be more than 3,000 shillings. If you're earning 100,000 shillings a month, your rent should not be more than 30,000. Because that's a very critical thing to understand. So, but look for your own house, but look for an appropriate house. And like when you went, you saw yesterday the person we are calling Maina Kamau. Remember yesterday? Maina was the chairman, 1975, was the chairman of the CU. He was my secretary. So we looked for a house in Nairobi together, found it, entered it, but we did not have money for the curtains. So we just took a newspaper and placed them on the wall, and then told each other, no girlfriend allowed here. Until we have curtains, nobody is welcome. We don't even tell them where we are. So we put, and you see, the important thing is people cannot see us from outside. Well, once you put the papers, isn't it? So you start like that, then you get money for curtain, you put curtains. Then we agreed, which is a very important thing, people don't know that, there's nothing we will buy together. Because we are not married, we are just staying together. So if you buy a fridge, I buy a cooker. You need your own bed, so each buys a bed. That means 2 years later when I got married, each person went with their own things, and then you buy what you are not bought. Never buy something together because you are sharing a house. Because you are not there to stay together. So what will happen? And you know the trouble is, if you bought a cooker together, and you want to, you taste with one person, the next one will buy it at higher price. See, prices are rising. Can you see the foolishness of this idea of buying things together? Since you know the house requires a lot of things and you are sharing it, you just choose what to buy and I'll buy the balance. And they are not, each person retains the ownership to theirs. And that's a very, very important thing to understand. So, but why is it important for you to stay in your own house? 3 reasons. Number 1, if you are staying with a relative, they tend to affect your ministry. If you want to ask somebody to come for you to minister to them, you feel reluctant because you don't want to hurt your uncle. Are we together? Although your uncle's place is better, is whatever, but the trouble is, it interferes with your ministry. Number 2, once you stay in your uncle's place, you can't buy things. And yet one day you leave. And you live with nothing, isn't it? If you stay in your own house, every time you buy an asset, it's reducing the requirements for housing, for putting things in the house. Can you see the advantage? So it's very important. Don't stay in somebody's house because you stay, you end up eating more madazis because you have more money. And madazis cannot help you in the future. Am I communicating? So it's important to see how to move to your own house. So it's first of all, it's ministry. Number 2, it allows you to buy things. Number 3, it's also training you in independence. When you stay with somebody, they look after you in a lot of ways. Then when you're on your own, you don't know how to handle things. You can be that or something, and you still can't start on your own because you have been living with others. So that's very important. And all that is about housing. So it's still item number 1. Getting a job and housing. Number 2, please get a church. You cannot be a church vagabond. Do you know English? Do you know about this? A vagabond is a person of no fixed abode. And everything like that. Sunday 1, they are Anglicans. Sunday 2, they are Baptists. Sunday 3, they are Pentecostals. Sunday 5, they are nobody. Now, you need to understand that kind of life is not a biblical life. The Bible insists on each person having a local church. So it's important you pick a local church. Why do you need a local church? Because a local church is the one that will help you in terms of spiritual growth and your spiritual nature. You need a local church. However, be careful which church you enter. For example, me, when I left campus, I used to go to 3 churches on one Sunday. One that begins at 8, and then at 11. I used to go to many churches because I don't know which one is the right one to go. So I need to go enough time to tell who they are, what they do. Why you make a decision immediately? There's no hurry. So first of all, go around until you feel where you feel you are in the right place. So don't appear in the first church and stick there. Go all around until them clearly. I just want to pray to God about where to settle. But there are 4 characteristics you must look in a church before you settle. Number 1, is that Christ church or does it belong to somebody? It's very easy to actually deal with that. If you see somebody's picture with his wife on a signboard, he's announcing to you, this is not Christ church, it's my church. And when you go to such a church, when they disagree with each other, they throw you out. Am I right? So you don't attend at your level, intellectual capacity. What will you be doing in a church that belongs to somebody? The only church you can attend is Christ church. And the pastor is not the owner. He's a servant of the owner. Who is the owner? Christ. So that idea, they are called personal enterprises. Even when he dies, the son takes over. That's the first mark. You need to find out, is this a one-man church? Go through the book of Acts, where the church was established first, and you'll notice, nowhere did Paul ever appoint an elder. He always appointed elders. called plural leadership. Single leadership, not New Testament theology. Every church had elders, not an elder. But many Pentecostal churches today, the guy he's the one who started, he's the owner. There are some elders, but they are actually simply, they don't make decisions. He's the one who, have you seen such churches? You should not be there, because what are you doing? You're wasting your time. This is his personal property, his investment. Let him remain with it. So, my suggestion is before you actually enter into a church, find out whether you can see their contribution. That you understand, does this church have a structure? Who does the senior pastor report to? Everybody must report to somebody. You can't have a church where the pastor is the final word. What about if he is wrong? You need a board above the senior pastor. So, and the way it works is, individual people are below him. But when they meet as a group, they can correct him. Are we together? And that's what you need. If you're an Anglican, they have a synod. If you are from CITAM, they have a council of elders, where the bishop reports. So it's important that you establish, you not just join a church, because the churches that are where the individual becomes in charge, although initially they don't start as scouts, they soon become scouts, because basically he has nobody to correct him, nobody to help him. So that's the part you check, the church structure. Who does the senior person report to? Does he report to anybody? Number two, check for their statement of faith. He can't tell you, we believe what Christ believes. No, they normally have in their document, something they call the statement, like in our focus, we have a statement of faith. The key thing you'll be looking for in the statement of faith is that the Bible is the final authority in our matters of faith and conduct. The Bible is the final authority in our matters of faith and conduct. Because if the Bible is not the final authority, that's not Christ's church. You can't get a dream, and the dream does not agree with the Bible, and you follow it. So you need to look at their statement of faith. Because the statement is already wrong, you'd expect other things to actually go wrong. Thirdly, as you look now, because those are basic things you can find out. The third thing is the type of teaching. So that's why you are attending a few times to tell the type of teaching. You'll find churches that teach allegory. What's allegory? They pick a verse, make a story out of it, but it's not out of context. Anybody, do they have best P here? They have best P. So they have an idea that you cannot take a verse out of context and tell a story. But there are many pastors who do that. Have you heard them? If not in your church, but you see them on radio. So you can't attend a church where the pastor feels the freedom to make the Bible say anything. He is not a prisoner of the word. A pastor must be a prisoner of the word. That means he feels like saying something, but because the Bible is not saying, he can't say it. Your preaching must be repeating God's word. Don't be original. So you need to listen. Is the preaching consistent as out of God's word or into God's word? What's happening there? So you're thinking about the structure, thinking about the statement of faith, you are looking at the type of preaching. Fourthly, you're asking, are you able to join in fellowship? There are some places where you feel out of place because you go there, they speak their tribal language, and they don't care whether you are listening or not. So, and church is a fellowship. So how do you fit in? So you need to check. And people don't realize that very easy to knock out. You welcome, visitors are welcome, but then after that nobody greets you. I used to stay in Kisumu. I visited Nairobi and I have the church say, we are a welcoming church. We are really good at welcoming. Then I went outside. Nobody greeted me. They were busy talking to each other. Then finally I was transferred back to Nairobi, and that church asked me to preach. I heard them repeating that. Now I was in the pulpit. Tell them, don't cheat yourself. I was here last year. I, you said you can welcome visitors. I went outside. Nobody greeted me. People are too busy greeting each other to care for. So you need to find out, do you feel welcome? So because you go to church, and that's an important thing. Fit in. And where will you fit in? Finally, we're still talking about the church in choosing a church. You are checking, which is the final thing. Can you be involved in ministry? Now, not fellowship. What are you going to do? You don't go to a church to be a bench warmer. You must be involved in one ministry of none. The scriptures tell us when you come together, one has a hymn, one has a song. It sounds like nobody is idle. Everyone must come to do something. So don't go to a church to be idle. And that's the problem of large churches. I come from a large church, Barry Road. We get 8,000, 10,000 people. Now, it's very easy to hide there. You need to look for a church where you can get involved in ministry. Does that help? All those are things will face you within a few. They are going to face you within a few weeks. So you have to think about them. So you have a house, you have a church. Number 3, you need a fellowship. You need a fellowship. Unfortunately, the church will be the fellowship, but most times it's not. So you need to find out a small group, and focus should be helping in that area. Bible study groups. Even if they are not from your church, they are in your neighborhood. And in the Bible study, you benefit by studying the Bible, but more important, there's a small group that knows you, where you feel the freedom to share your pains and sorrows. It's important. Original churches were like that, because they were meeting in people's houses. But the churches of today, you need to have a church, and it is not a fellowship. You need a fellowship. Am I clear? So find out. And that's one of the things the focus branch should be helping you in that area. Because wherever you are, there should be a focus branch. And you can ask the people where you have started working, is it possible to have fellowship? And even the branch itself should be providing a fellowship. Are we together? You need a fellowship. And that will be important. Finally, wherever you go, find out the area of ministry you can be involved in. Fellowship is not ministry. I know you are involved in your church ministry. Beyond that, in the 6 days of the week, what are you doing? What is your area of calling? What can you be doing beyond your job? Because you're already doing a job, you're earning a salary, but you still need a ministry. Am I making things difficult for you? But those are the things you need. The reason I'm telling you in advance is that you need to be ready for them. Anyway, I know I don't have all the time. So I need to find a way of translating to the subject of the day. But I hope that helps you. Before I go to finding a life partner, any question you have that far about preparing for life? Talk about looking for a job. Some of you will not look for a job, you will start a business. Still the same, but you need some capital. Start a business. Any question about preparing for